Chapter 1, The Foundations of Religious Freedom. Introduction. Religious freedom is a fundamental human right, recognized and protected by international human rights standards as well as many national constitutions. It grants individuals and communities the freedom to express and practice their beliefs without discrimination or coercion. Understanding the foundations of religious freedom and its legal protection is crucial when navigating the process of establishing a religion within the legal framework of your country or region. 1.1 The importance of religious freedom. Religious freedom is an essential component of a democratic and inclusive society. It allows individuals to explore their spirituality, shape their identity, and find meaning in their lives. Moreover, it fosters diversity and pluralism, enabling different religious traditions to coexist harmoniously. 1.2 Religion and the state. The relationship between religion and the state varies across different jurisdictions. It is important to understand how your country or region approaches this relationship to navigate the process effectively. Some countries have a strict separation of church and state, while others may have a more symbiotic or cooperative relationship. 1.3 Constitutional guarantees and international human rights standards. Many countries have constitutional provisions safeguarding religious freedom. These provisions outline the rights and protections granted to individuals and religious communities. Additionally, international human rights instruments, such as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, provide a global framework for the protection of religious freedom. 1.4 Limitations and balancing of rights. Religious freedom, like any other right, is not absolute. It may be subject to limitations in certain circumstances to protect public order, health, or the rights of others. Understanding these limitations is crucial when establishing a religion within the legal framework. Balancing the rights of individuals and religious communities with the broader societal interests is a delicate task. 1.5 Case studies. Successful establishment of religions. Examining case studies of successful religious establishments within the legal framework of different countries or regions can provide valuable insights. These examples shed light on the strategies, legal considerations, and challenges faced by religious organizations during their establishment process. 1.6 Engaging with legal and human rights organizations. Building connections with legal and human rights organizations can be beneficial in navigating the process of establishing a religion. These organizations can offer guidance, resources, and legal expertise to ensure compliance with the law and protect your religious freedom. 1.7 Ethical considerations. Establishing a religion involves ethical considerations that go beyond legal compliance. Reflecting on the moral responsibilities of religious leaders and communities is essential for promoting inclusivity, respecting human rights, and fostering dialogue with other faith traditions. Conclusion. Understanding the foundations of religious freedom and its legal protection is a critical first step in navigating the process of establishing a religion within the legal framework of your country or region. By comprehending the importance of religious freedom, the relationship between religion and the state, constitutional guarantees, limitations, and engaging with legal and human rights organizations, you can lay a strong foundation for successfully establishing your religion while respecting the rights and laws of your society. Chapter 2, Defining Your Faith. Introduction. Before embarking on the process of establishing your religion within the legal framework, it is essential to define and articulate the beliefs, values, and mission of your faith. This chapter will guide you through the process of shaping and articulating your religious identity, establishing a clear mission statement, and understanding the organizational structures that can best support your religious community. 2.1 Exploring your beliefs and doctrines. Start by reflecting on your personal beliefs and spiritual journey. What are the core tenets and principles that form the foundation of your faith? Consider the theological, ethical, and philosophical perspectives that shape your religious worldview. Engage in discussions with fellow believers and seek guidance from religious scholars to refine and articulate your beliefs and doctrines. 2.2 Defining your mission statement. Crafting a mission statement is crucial for clarifying the purpose and direction of your religious organization. A mission statement communicates your beliefs, values, and goals to both your members and the wider community. It should be concise, inspiring, and inclusive, reflecting the essence of your faith and its intended impact on individuals and society. 2.3 Core Values and Ethics. Identify the core values and ethical principles that guide your religious community. These values serve as the moral compass for your organization and influence decision-making processes. They should promote virtues such as compassion, justice, inclusivity, and respect for human dignity. Reflect on how these values align with legal and societal norms to ensure a harmonious integration within the legal framework. 2.4 Organizational structures. Consider the organizational structures that best suit the needs of your religious community. This can vary depending on the size, nature, and goals of your organization. Common structures include hierarchical systems, congregational models, or hybrid structures that blend spiritual leadership with participatory decision-making. Evaluate the pros and cons of each structure and select the one that aligns with your faith's values and fosters effective governance. 2.5 Leadership and clergy. Explore the role of leadership within your religious community. Determine the qualifications, responsibilities, and selection processes for clergy and other leaders. Consider the educational requirements, ordination procedures, and ongoing training and support for spiritual leaders. Additionally, establish mechanisms for accountability and ethical conduct within your religious organization. 2.6 Rituals and worship practices. Develop a framework for the rituals and worship practices that are central to your faith. This may include liturgical practices, sacraments, prayers, meditations, or other forms of spiritual expression. Ensure that these practices are conducted in a manner that respects legal regulations and public safety while maintaining the integrity of your religious traditions. 2.7 Inclusivity and diversity. Emphasize inclusivity and embrace diversity within your religious community. Create an environment that welcomes individuals from different backgrounds, cultures, and identities. Strive to build bridges with other faith traditions and foster interfaith dialogue and understanding. Consider how your faith can contribute positively to the broader society and address social issues with compassion and empathy. Conclusion: defining your faith is a vital step in the process of establishing a religion within the legal framework. By exploring your beliefs and doctrines, crafting a mission statement, defining core values and ethical principles, selecting appropriate organizational structures, and fostering inclusivity and diversity, you lay the foundation for a vibrant and resilient religious community. This clarity of purpose and identity will guide you through the legal journey ahead and enable you to make a meaningful impact on the lives of your members and the wider society. Chapter 3: Legal Considerations and Research. Introduction. Establishing a religion within the legal framework of your country or region requires a comprehensive understanding of the laws and regulations that govern religious organizations. This chapter will guide you through the process of conducting legal research, understanding the specific legal considerations relevant to your context, and identifying potential challenges and obstacles that may arise during the establishment process. 3.1 Researching religious laws and regulations. Begin by researching the legal landscape that governs religious organizations in your country or region. Examine the Constitution, national laws, and relevant statutes that address religious freedom, nonprofit organizations, tax-exempt status, land use, and other aspects specific to religious institutions. Understand the legal principles, rights, and obligations that apply to religious organizations to ensure compliance and protection. 3.2 Understanding nonprofit and tax-exempt status. Familiarize yourself with the legal requirements and benefits associated with nonprofit and tax-exempt status for religious organizations. Determine the criteria, application process, and ongoing obligations necessary to obtain and maintain these statuses. Explore the implications of tax-exempt status, including tax benefits for donors and reporting obligations. 3.3 Differentiating religious status from nonprofit status. Distinguish between religious status and nonprofit status within the legal framework. While religious organizations often operate as nonprofits, it is essential to understand the specific legal considerations and exemptions that may apply exclusively to religious entities. Recognize the distinctions and potential advantages associated with religious status. 3.4 Zoning and land use regulations. Become familiar with zoning and land use regulations relevant to religious organizations. Different jurisdictions may have specific requirements and restrictions regarding the use of property for religious purposes. Understand the processes and permissions necessary to acquire, develop, and utilize land or buildings for worship, community activities, and administrative purposes. 3.5 Legal challenges and potential obstacles. Identify potential legal challenges that religious organizations may face during the establishment process. This may include legal disputes, conflicts with local authorities, objections from community members, or issues related to religious freedom and discrimination. Develop strategies to address these challenges, such as seeking legal advice, engaging in dialogue, or understanding the mechanisms for dispute resolution. 3.6 Licensing, permits, and reporting requirements. Be aware of licensing and permit requirements that may apply to religious organizations. These may include permits for public gatherings, construction, or hosting events. Understand the reporting obligations, such as financial disclosures and annual filings, to maintain legal compliance and transparency. 3.7 Seeking legal counsel. Engage legal professionals experienced in religious and nonprofit law to guide you through the establishment process. Lawyers specializing in this field can provide invaluable advice, review legal documents, and ensure compliance with relevant laws and regulations. Seek referrals from religious or community organizations, or consult local bar associations to find appropriate legal counsel. 3.8 Respecting the legal boundaries. As you navigate the process of establishing your religion, it is crucial to respect the legal boundaries and obligations that govern religious organizations. Upholding the law not only protects your religious community but also strengthens your credibility and legitimacy in the eyes of the wider society. Conclusion: thorough legal research and understanding are essential when establishing a religion within the legal framework. By researching religious laws and regulations, differentiating nonprofit and religious status, grasping zoning and land use regulations, identifying potential legal challenges, complying with licensing and reporting requirements, seeking legal counsel, and respecting legal boundaries, you can navigate the establishment process confidently and ensure compliance with the laws that govern religious organizations. With a strong legal foundation, you can focus on fostering your faith community and fulfilling its mission within the legal framework of your country or region. Chapter 4: Incorporating your religious organization. Introduction. Incorporating your religious organization is a critical step in establishing its legal identity and ensuring its recognition and protection under the law. This chapter will guide you through the process of legal incorporation, including selecting the appropriate legal structure, drafting necessary documents, and fulfilling the requirements to establish your religious organization within the legal framework. 4.1 Selecting the legal structure. Consider the available legal structures for religious organizations within your jurisdiction. Common options include religious corporations, nonprofit organizations, charitable trusts, or unincorporated associations. Evaluate the advantages, disadvantages, and legal implications of each structure to determine the one that aligns best with your organization's goals and mission. 4.2 Articles of Incorporation. Draft the Articles of Incorporation, which outline the fundamental details of your religious organization. This document typically includes the organization's name, purpose, duration, registered address, membership provisions, and governing structure. Consult legal counsel or model templates specific to your jurisdiction to ensure compliance with legal requirements. 4.3 Bylaws. Develop comprehensive bylaws that govern the internal operations and procedures of your religious organization. Bylaws address matters such as membership, governance structure, decision-making processes, roles and responsibilities, meeting protocols, and any specific rules relevant to your organization. Ensure that your bylaws are in alignment with the legal framework and uphold principles of transparency, accountability, and inclusivity. 4.4 Registering with government authorities. Follow the necessary steps to register your religious organization with the appropriate government authorities. This typically involves submitting the Articles of Incorporation, bylaws, and other required documents, along with the requisite fees. Understand the registration process, timelines, and any additional requirements specific to your jurisdiction. 4.5 Employer Identification Number, EIN, and tax-exempt status. Obtain an Employer Identification Number, EIN, from the relevant tax authority. This unique identifier is necessary for tax reporting and other administrative purposes. Additionally, if you intend to seek tax-exempt status, research and comply with the specific requirements for religious organizations to ensure eligibility for tax benefits and exemptions. 4.6 Intellectual property protection. Consider protecting your organization's name, logo, and other intellectual property through trademark registration. Trademarks safeguard your religious organization's brand identity and prevent unauthorized use or infringement by others. Consult intellectual property professionals to guide you through the trademark registration process and ensure the protection of your organization's assets. 4.7 Maintaining compliance. Understand the ongoing compliance obligations that come with incorporating your religious organization. This may include annual reporting, financial disclosures, maintaining proper records, and adherence to specific regulations governing religious organizations. Establish internal systems and processes to meet these obligations consistently and demonstrate good governance. 4.8 Dissolution and succession planning. Anticipate the possibility of dissolution or leadership transition within your religious organization. Develop clear guidelines and procedures for the dissolution process, including the distribution of assets and the handling of financial and legal matters. Similarly, establish succession planning strategies to ensure a smooth transition of leadership and the continuity of your organization's mission. Conclusion: incorporating your religious organization is a crucial step in establishing its legal identity and protecting its interests within the legal framework. By selecting the appropriate legal structure, drafting articles of incorporation and bylaws, registering with government authorities, obtaining an IN and tax-exempt status, protecting intellectual property, maintaining compliance, and planning for dissolution and succession, you lay the groundwork for a legally recognized and well-governed religious organization. Upholding legal obligations and best practices enhances your organization's credibility, stability, and ability to fulfill its mission effectively within the parameters of the law. Chapter 5: Compliance and Governance. Introduction: Compliance with legal obligations and establishing effective governance structures are essential for the successful operation and long-term sustainability of your religious organization. This chapter will guide you through the process of ensuring compliance with applicable laws and regulations, developing internal governance mechanisms, and fostering transparency and accountability within your religious community. 5.1 Understanding legal obligations. Gain a comprehensive understanding of the legal obligations that apply to religious organizations in your jurisdiction. This includes compliance with nonprofit laws, tax regulations, reporting requirements, employment laws, health and safety regulations, and any other relevant legal frameworks. Regularly review and stay updated on changes in the law to ensure ongoing compliance. 5.2 Reporting and financial disclosures. Familiarize yourself with the reporting and financial disclosure requirements specific to religious organizations. This may include preparing annual financial statements, filing tax returns, and providing reports to government authorities or funding agencies. Establish robust financial management systems and processes to ensure accurate record keeping and timely compliance. 5.3 Internal governance structures and procedures. Develop clear and effective internal governance structures and procedures within your religious organization. This includes defining roles and responsibilities, establishing decision-making processes, and developing mechanisms for accountability and oversight. Consider the formation of a board of directors, an executive committee, or other appropriate governing bodies to provide guidance and ensure responsible management. 5.4 Code of Conduct and Ethics. Craft a code of conduct and ethics that outlines the expected standards of behavior for members, leaders, and employees of your religious organization. This code should reflect your organization's values, promote integrity, and address ethical considerations specific to your religious traditions. Communicate and enforce the code consistently to foster a culture of ethical conduct and mutual respect. 5.5 Conflict resolution and dispute management. Establish mechanisms for conflict resolution and dispute management within your religious organization. Develop policies and procedures to address internal conflicts, disagreements, or disputes that may arise among members, leaders, or staff. Encourage open dialogue, mediation, or other alternative dispute resolution methods to maintain harmony and resolve conflicts in a fair and respectful manner. 5.6 Transparency and accountability. Promote transparency and accountability within your religious community. Regularly communicate information about the organization's activities, financial management, and decision-making processes to members and stakeholders. Implement mechanisms for feedback, such as annual general meetings or regular reports, to foster engagement and ensure transparency in your organization's operations. 5.7 Training and capacity building. Invest in training and capacity building programs for your members, leaders, and staff. Provide education and resources on legal compliance, governance best practices, ethical conduct, and other relevant areas. This helps strengthen the skills and knowledge necessary for effective leadership and responsible participation within your religious organization. 5.8 External oversight and audit. Consider engaging external oversight and auditing mechanisms to enhance transparency and ensure independent scrutiny of your organization's financial and operational practices. Independent audits can provide assurance to members, donors, and the wider community regarding the integrity and accountability of your religious organization. Conclusion: compliance with legal obligations and the establishment of effective governance structures are vital for the long-term success and sustainability of your religious organization. By understanding and adhering to legal obligations, implementing internal governance structures and procedures, fostering transparency and accountability, promoting ethical conduct, and seeking external oversight and audits, you ensure the responsible management and operation of your religious organization. Compliance and good governance not only protect the interests of your organization but also contribute to its credibility, trustworthiness, and ability to fulfill its mission with integrity. Chapter 6: Fundraising and Finances. Introduction. Fundraising and financial management are essential aspects of establishing and sustaining a religious organization. This chapter will guide you through the process of fundraising, developing a sustainable financial plan, and ensuring compliance with tax regulations within the legal framework of your country or region. 6.1 Developing a fundraising strategy. Create a comprehensive fundraising strategy for your religious organization. This involves identifying potential funding sources, such as individual donations, grants, fundraising events, or partnerships with other organizations. Determine the most effective methods for reaching out to potential donors and engaging your community in supporting your religious mission. 6.2 Compliance with tax regulations. Understand the tax regulations and obligations relevant to fundraising activities within your jurisdiction. Familiarize yourself with the requirements for tax-exempt status, tax reporting, and any restrictions or limitations on fundraising practices. Ensure compliance with applicable laws to maintain your organization's tax-exempt status and protect the integrity of your fundraising efforts. 6.3 Establishing a financial plan. Develop a sustainable financial plan for your religious organization. This includes creating a budget, projecting income and expenses, and identifying strategies for long-term financial stability. Consider the unique financial needs and priorities of your organization, including funding for worship services, community programs, staff salaries, maintenance of facilities, and future expansion. 6.4 Grant writing and funding applications. If seeking grants to support your religious organization, learn about grant writing techniques and best practices. Research available grants from religious foundations, government agencies, or community organizations that align with your mission. Develop strong grant proposals and funding applications, highlighting the impact of your religious organization and its programs on individuals and the community. 6.5 Financial record keeping and reporting. Establish effective financial record keeping systems to ensure accurate and transparent reporting. Maintain detailed records of income, expenses, and financial transactions. Implement regular reporting procedures to provide transparency to your organization's stakeholders, including members, donors, and regulatory authorities. 6.6 Donor stewardship and relationship building. Cultivate relationships with your donors and maintain effective donor stewardship practices. Express gratitude and recognition for their contributions, provide updates on how their support is making a difference, and engage them in the ongoing work of your religious organization. Building strong relationships with donors fosters long-term support and encourages continued investment in your mission. 6.7 Financial controls and internal audit. Establish internal financial controls and conduct regular internal audits to ensure the proper management and safeguarding of your organization's funds. Implement segregation of duties, establish clear financial policies and procedures, and regularly review financial reports. Conduct periodic internal audits to identify any areas of concern or potential fraud, ensuring the financial integrity of your religious organization. 6.8 Planned giving and endowment funds. Consider offering planned giving opportunities to your community members and supporters. Encourage individuals to include your religious organization in their estate plans or to establish endowment funds to provide long-term financial stability. Educate your community about the benefits of planned giving and the impact it can have on sustaining your religious mission. Conclusion: fundraising and financial management are crucial for the success and sustainability of your religious organization. By developing a comprehensive fundraising strategy, ensuring compliance with tax regulations, establishing a financial plan, maintaining accurate financial records, cultivating donor relationships, implementing financial controls, and considering planned giving opportunities, you lay the groundwork for a financially stable and thriving organization. By managing your finances responsibly and transparently, you build trust and confidence among your community members, donors, and the broader society, ensuring the long-term impact of your religious mission. Chapter 7: Property and Zoning Laws. Introduction. Property and zoning laws play a significant role in the establishment and operation of religious organizations. This chapter will guide you through the process of acquiring and managing property for religious purposes, navigating zoning and land use regulations, and understanding property tax exemptions within the legal framework of your country or region. 7.1 Acquiring property for religious purposes. Identify the suitable property for your religious organization's needs. Consider factors such as location, size, accessibility, and zoning requirements. Determine whether you will purchase, lease, or build a new facility. Engage with real estate professionals and legal advisors who specialize in religious property transactions to navigate the acquisition process successfully. 7.2 Zoning and Land Use Regulations. Understand the zoning and land use regulations that govern religious organizations in your jurisdiction. Research the specific requirements and restrictions related to establishing a place of worship or religious facility. Determine if there are zoning ordinances that designate certain areas for religious institutions and ensure compliance with setback requirements, parking provisions, noise restrictions, and other relevant regulations. 7.3 Seeking zoning variances or special use permits. If your intended use of a property does not conform to existing zoning regulations, you may need to seek zoning variances or special use permits. Familiarize yourself with the process for obtaining these permissions, including the application procedures, public hearings, and criteria for approval. Engage with zoning authorities and local government officials to understand the specific requirements and demonstrate how your religious organization's activities align with the broader community's interests. 7.4 Property tax exemptions. Explore property tax exemptions that may be available to religious organizations in your jurisdiction. Understand the eligibility criteria, application process, and ongoing requirements for obtaining and maintaining property tax exemptions. Familiarize yourself with any limitations or conditions attached to these exemptions, such as usage restrictions or reporting obligations. 7.5 Lease agreements and property management. If you are leasing a property for your religious organization, negotiate lease agreements that align with your needs and protect your organization's interests. Ensure that lease terms address essential considerations, such as rent, maintenance responsibilities, duration, and renewal options. Develop proper property management procedures to maintain the leased premises and comply with lease obligations. 7.6 Historic preservation and cultural heritage. If your religious organization operates in a historically significant building or site, consider the legal obligations and opportunities related to historic preservation and cultural heritage. Understand any preservation regulations, permits, or grants that may be available to support the maintenance and restoration of historically significant religious structures. 7.7 Environmental considerations. Be aware of environmental regulations and requirements that may apply to your religious organization's property. Understand responsibilities related to waste management, water usage, conservation, and compliance with environmental standards. Engage with environmental agencies or consultants to ensure your property operations align with relevant environmental laws. 7.8 Accessibility and disability accommodation. Ensure compliance with accessibility regulations and disability accommodation requirements within your religious facility. Familiarize yourself with applicable laws that address accessibility features, such as ramps, accessible restrooms, parking spaces, and signage. Make efforts to create an inclusive environment that accommodates individuals with disabilities. Conclusion: understanding property and zoning laws is crucial for the successful establishment and operation of your religious organization. By navigating the process of acquiring property for religious purposes, complying with zoning and land use regulations, seeking zoning variances or permits when necessary, exploring property tax exemptions, managing lease agreements, considering historic preservation and cultural heritage, addressing environmental considerations, and ensuring accessibility and disability accommodation, you can establish and maintain a physical space that aligns with your religious mission and complies with the legal requirements. By proactively engaging with relevant authorities, legal professionals, and experts, you can navigate property and zoning laws effectively, creating a conducive environment for worship, community activities, and the fulfillment of your religious organization's objectives. Chapter 8: Interfaith Relations and Dialogue. Introduction. Interfaith relations and dialogue play a crucial role in promoting understanding, cooperation, and harmony among different religious communities. This chapter will guide you through the process of building relationships with other faith traditions and organizations, engaging in interfaith dialogue, and handling conflicts or challenges that may arise within the context of establishing your religion within the legal framework. 8.1 The importance of interfaith relations. Recognize the importance of fostering positive interfaith relations. Interfaith engagement promotes mutual respect, tolerance, and cooperation among diverse religious communities. Building relationships with other faith traditions not only enriches your own religious experience but also contributes to the broader goal of creating a more inclusive and harmonious society. 8.2 Initiating interfaith connections. Take proactive steps to initiate interfaith connections. Attend interfaith events, participate in community initiatives, and engage with local religious leaders and organizations from different faith traditions. Seek opportunities for dialogue, shared activities, and collaborative projects that promote understanding and bridge religious divides. 8.3 Engaging in interfaith dialogue. Participate in interfaith dialogue to foster meaningful conversations and explore common values, shared concerns, and areas of cooperation. Engage in respectful discussions that promote understanding and address potential misconceptions or stereotypes. Dialogue can help dispel misunderstandings, build trust, and establish a foundation for ongoing interfaith relationships. 8.4 Handling interfaith conflicts and challenges. Acknowledge that conflicts and challenges may arise within interfaith interactions. Be prepared to address disagreements or misunderstandings with respect, patience, and a willingness to listen. Cultivate conflict resolution skills and seek mediation or dialogue facilitation when necessary. Approach conflicts as opportunities for growth and learning, aiming to build bridges rather than reinforce divisions. 8.5 Promoting religious harmony in the community. Extend your interfaith engagement beyond dialogue to collaborative community projects and initiatives. Work together with other religious communities to address social issues, promote justice, and contribute to the well-being of the broader society. By collaborating on shared goals, you strengthen interfaith relationships and demonstrate the positive impact of religious communities working together. 8.6 Advocating for religious freedom and human rights. Join efforts with other faith traditions to advocate for religious freedom and human rights. Collaborate on initiatives that promote tolerance, diversity, and the protection of fundamental rights for all individuals, regardless of their religious beliefs. Address issues related to religious discrimination, hate crimes, or the marginalization of religious communities. 8.7 Bridging the gap between religious and secular communities. Recognize the importance of building bridges between religious and secular communities. Engage in dialogue with non-religious organizations and individuals to promote mutual understanding and cooperation. Seek common ground on ethical values, social justice issues, and shared concerns, fostering an inclusive approach that transcends religious boundaries. 8.8 Respecting different religious identities and beliefs. Maintain a respectful attitude towards different religious identities and beliefs. Understand that interfaith engagement does not require compromising one's own faith but rather promoting mutual respect and understanding. Approach conversations with an open mind and a willingness to learn from others, cultivating an environment of respect and dignity for all religious traditions. Conclusion: interfaith relations and dialogue are essential components of establishing your religion within the legal framework. By initiating interfaith connections, engaging in dialogue, handling conflicts with respect, promoting religious Harmony in the community, advocating for religious freedom and human rights, bridging the gap between religious and secular communities, and respecting different religious identities and beliefs, you contribute to a more inclusive and harmonious society. Building relationships and engaging in dialogue with diverse religious communities enhance your religious experience, promote understanding, and demonstrate the value of religious freedom and cooperation across different faith traditions. Chapter 9, Social Outreach and Community Engagement Introduction. Social outreach and community engagement are integral aspects of establishing your religion within the legal framework. This chapter will guide you through the process of creating and implementing community programs and initiatives, partnering with governmental and non-governmental organizations, and leveraging your religious organization's strengths for positive social impact. 9.1 Identifying community needs. Begin by identifying the specific needs and challenges within your community. Conduct thorough research, engage in conversations with community members, and collaborate with local organizations to gain insights into the pressing issues affecting individuals and families. Understand the social, economic, and cultural context of your community to effectively tailor your outreach efforts. 9.2 Developing community programs and initiatives based on the identified needs. Develop community programs and initiatives aligned with your religious organization's mission and values. These may include educational programs, healthcare initiatives, poverty alleviation projects, environmental sustainability efforts, or any other area where your organization can make a positive impact. Ensure that your programs adhere to legal regulations and ethical standards. 9.3 Partnering with governmental organizations. Explore opportunities for collaboration with governmental organizations. Identify government programs or initiatives related to the social issues your religious organization aims to address. Build relationships with local government representatives and agencies to develop partnerships that leverage resources and expertise for the benefit of the community. 9.4 Collaborating with non-governmental organizations, NGOs. Engage with non-governmental organizations, NGOs, that focus on similar social causes, or have expertise in areas aligned with your organization's mission. Seek partnerships or joint initiatives to pool resources, share knowledge, and maximize the impact of your community programs. NGOs can provide valuable guidance, networks, and capacity-building opportunities. 9.5 Mobilizing volunteers and community members. Mobilize volunteers within your religious community and engage them in social outreach efforts. Develop volunteer recruitment strategies, establish volunteer training programs, and create opportunities for community members to actively contribute to community projects. Encourage a culture of service and provide ongoing support and recognition to your volunteers. 9.6 Raising awareness and advocacy. Use your platform as a religious organization to raise awareness about social issues and advocate for positive change. Educate your members and the wider community through sermons, workshops, or educational campaigns about the root causes of social problems and potential solutions. Advocate for policies and practices that promote social justice, equality, and inclusivity. 9.7 Collaborative community events. Organize collaborative community events that bring together diverse religious and cultural groups. These events can foster dialogue, celebrate diversity, and promote understanding and respect among different faith traditions. Consider hosting interfaith gatherings, cultural festivals, or service projects that involve multiple religious communities and highlight the shared values and common humanity. 9.8 Monitoring and evaluation. Implement monitoring and evaluation mechanisms to assess the impact and effectiveness of your social outreach programs. Develop key performance indicators, KPIs, that align with your program objectives and regularly track progress towards achieving them. Collect feedback from beneficiaries, volunteers, and partners to continuously improve your initiatives and ensure accountability. Conclusion: social outreach and community engagement are vital components of establishing your religion within the legal framework. By identifying community needs, developing relevant programs, partnering with governmental and non-governmental organizations, mobilizing volunteers, raising awareness, advocating for change, organizing collaborative community events, and implementing monitoring and evaluation processes, you can make a positive social impact. By leveraging the strengths and values of your religious organization, you contribute to the well-being and flourishing of your community while adhering to legal requirements and promoting the values of compassion, justice, and service. Chapter 10: Adapting and Evolving in a Changing Landscape. Introduction. The landscape in which religious organizations operate is constantly evolving. This chapter will guide you through the process of adapting to societal changes, leveraging technology, addressing emerging challenges, and ensuring the long-term viability and relevance of your religious organization within the legal framework. 10.1 Embracing technological advancements. Recognize the importance of embracing technology to enhance your religious organization's operations and outreach. Utilize digital platforms for communication, outreach, and engagement with your community. Embrace online giving platforms, live streaming services, and social media to connect with a wider audience and adapt to changing communication preferences. 10.2 Addressing generational and cultural shifts. Understand the generational and cultural shifts that may impact the engagement and participation of different age groups within your religious community. Tailor your programs, messaging, and outreach efforts to resonate with diverse generations. Encourage meaningful intergenerational dialogue and create opportunities for the involvement and leadership development of younger members. 10.3 Navigating social and political changes. Stay informed about social and political changes that may impact religious organizations. Monitor legislative developments, public opinion, and societal trends that may affect your religious practices or freedom. Engage in informed discussions and participate in advocacy efforts to protect religious rights and uphold the values of your faith. 10.4 Responding to ethical and moral dilemmas. As societal norms evolve, religious organizations may face ethical and moral dilemmas. Develop frameworks and engage in theological discussions to address these challenges within the context of your religious teachings. Seek guidance from religious scholars, engage in open dialogue with community members, and align your responses with the principles and values of your faith. 10.5 Fostering inclusivity and diversity. Continually strive to foster inclusivity and diversity within your religious organization. Create a welcoming environment for individuals of diverse backgrounds, cultures, and identities. Ensure that leadership positions and decision-making bodies reflect the diversity of your community. Embrace interfaith dialogue and collaborations to promote mutual understanding and respect. 10.6 Balancing tradition and innovation. Strike a balance between preserving traditional religious practices and embracing innovation. Respect and maintain the core values, rituals, and teachings of your faith while adapting to meet the evolving needs and preferences of your community. Continually assess the relevance and effectiveness of your practices and be open to thoughtful evolution that aligns with the values of your faith. 10.7 Continuing education and professional development. Invest in continuing education and professional development opportunities for your religious leaders and staff. Stay abreast of theological, legal, and social developments to enhance your organization's knowledge base. Attend conferences, workshops, and training sessions to strengthen your leadership skills and foster personal growth. 10.8 Building resilience and flexibility. Cultivate resilience and flexibility within your religious organization to adapt to unforeseen circumstances and challenges. Develop contingency plans for emergencies, crisis situations, or changes in the legal or social landscape. Build a culture of adaptability and open-mindedness that enables your organization to navigate uncertain times while remaining true to its core values. Conclusion: adapting and evolving in a changing landscape is essential for the long-term viability and relevance of your religious organization. By embracing technological advancements, addressing generational and cultural shifts, navigating social and political changes, responding to ethical dilemmas, fostering inclusivity and diversity, balancing tradition and innovation, investing in education and development, and building resilience and flexibility, you ensure that your organization remains responsive to the needs of its community and the challenges of the times. By adapting thoughtfully and upholding the values and teachings of your faith, you can continue to thrive and make a positive impact within the